Hello, Orville Nation and Nerd TV. Hello, Peggy Oaks. Hello, Matt Ryan. Hello, John Pitts. Hello, Jeff Beaver. Hello, everyone who's in here. Time Prophet, Colin, everyone who's in here. Welcome, guys. It's nice to be back. Sorry about last week. I think just life happened. That's what happened. Life happened. Welcome, everybody. Okay. I want to just, before I bring everybody in, I just want to talk about something real quick. And I'm going to turn off the... Well, everybody, welcome. It's good to be back, and we have the full crew back, plus our friend James, who is here with us tonight. I just want to address something real quick. I know a lot of you in the community know that YouTuber Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom passed the other day. We just wanted to, if anybody hasn't heard, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of streams going on for him. I did not know him too well. That's why I don't think it's appropriate for me to do a stream on it. But he was a really nice guy, and we were going to do stuff with him and Rambling, and it's a real shame. There is a GoFundMe for his family, and I'm going to be putting it up during the stream. So I urge anybody who can help, please do. Admiral, if you're out there, we're thinking about you. Okay, guys, I want to bring in ladies first. We want to bring in the galactic meteorologist, Katie Nicolau. Hello, Katie. How are you?
Hey, everyone. Oh, I'm doing great. It's snowing at about 1 inch an hour, and I am happy as I could ever be.
Wow, 1 inch an hour? How much are you going to get tonight?
Anywhere from 3 to 8 inches, but down in Omaha, they're seeing 12 to 18 inches, and I'm very jealous.
Oh, 3 to 8. I don't know. Those are pretty big margins. The weather woman is playing it, huh?
Yes, because the northern part of the county could get 3 inches, and the southern part could get 8. It is like a 5 to 10 mile difference. It is a very weird storm.
Katie is floundering.
You know,
Katie, I know, would say we're getting 5.5 inches.
Yeah, 5.57. You gotta go down 2 decimals.
I'm just kidding. All righty. Want to bring in Nina. Hello, Nina Infinity.
Hey guys.
How are you?
I'm good. It's so weird because Katie and I are like complete opposite people. I hate snow. I cannot stand it. I like it for like a day during Christmas, for like white Christmas, and then I'm done. I'm like, go away for a year and then come back for Christmas.
You can do so much mischief. It's incredible.
It's too cold. That's why I moved to the south. Like as south I could get. I went to the tropics. And I was like, okay, yeah. So you would like it here too, but you would like hurricanes because we have a hurricane, and we have mischief, but not cold. Yeah.
Ladies, what's going on with your channels this week?
I just put out a reaction video to Godzilla versus Kong because I thought, I mean, I love everything about those monsters. So that, and I'm doing Infinite Hope, which is good news. So yeah, Fridays, good news.
And for me, I'm trying to work out my best friend Jillian. She went back to grad school, so it's a little bit tricky, but we're trying to do more Ineffable Friends podcast. We did one just to see how it went, talking about Good Omens, and now we want to talk about anything from conventions to shows to literally everything. She's as random as I am, and it's fantastic. So we'll see. Keep an eye out. As long as it's early in the semester, I think we'll be able to get it in.
Does she like snow like you?
She does. She's a meteorology nut.
Oh,
so
okay.
We've gone on storm chases together, and she's just the greatest.
Nice.
She put up with a lot of crap, but she's the greatest. It's not easy being a storm chaser with me. Yeah. Jenny wants to go.
Here they would be like, she's crazy. We're hiding from the hurricanes, and she's running towards.
I'm the one outside.
Yeah.
I always quote Lieutenant Dan. You call this a storm? I've done that before.
Well, when Delta happened at the beginning of it, that's how I was like, they call us a hurricane. And then I was like, please stop. I was like, oh my God, when's it gonna end?
Oh gosh.
Oh, there's PJ. Oh, I
go in there.
Hello.
Hello.
Legoland.
One thing I have to go with Nina on is being in the warmer weather, you're never tempted by those bird poop icicles.
Very, very
See, I have
true.
to be on her good side after giving her a hard time just a minute ago.
Now, here's the fun thing, though. If you go to the beach towards New York and it's freezing, you can actually get sand icicles. So
that's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, PJ, one more thing for my channel. Jeff in the chat, who's super nice and is always in those chats as well, reminded me. I do an Expanse, talk review thing with James Beery on Sundays. So, if you guys are into the Expanse, you're caught up, please join us for next week's episode. Thank you so much, Jeff, for reminding me.
Nice. And I want to introduce you guys all remember our friend James. Hello, James.
Hi.
Good to be
Good to see you. How have you been?
I've been okay. I mean, just taking care of chores and things. Like I suggested a little bit ago or told you, is that my neighbor's taken down a beautiful ash tree. I'm not happy about that. It's like a 50-foot ash tree. I said, your house is going to be really, really hot this summer if you do that. He's like, oh well. I'm like, okay, fine. So
was it like perfectly in good health? Like, did it have ash borers?
Oh, it was just perfectly healthy, about 3 feet in diameter, 50 feet tall. I don't, you can't tell your neighbors what to do all the time. But.
You know what you should do? You should find a Lorax costume and just freak them out.
That would be great.
And I want to bring in Joe because we're making him wait. Hello, Joe. How are you?
Great. There's the boss.
And let's all congratulate Joe on his new project.
Yeah.
So thank you. It's going to be fun. Powder Mage trilogy. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's called Flintlock Fantasy, which kind of mixes gunpowder and magic. It's a very unique fantasy series. Author Brian McClellan is amazing and is going to be involved in all stages of the development of the project. So very much looking forward to that one.
Very, very cool.
Awesome. Wow. Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm going to have to read those books too. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah. We're all going to buy those books now.
Oh, heck yeah.
Let's ask Katie. Katie, what did you think?
Yeah. From the first part of the episode, I was yelling at the TV, "Don't you dare touch a hair on her head!" Like, I got worried. I'm so after the incident with one. Still not letting you off the hook with that. I don't trust that you won't just off someone. So. I was like terrified the entire episode, but I also really liked seeing them portraying the same character, but very different characters. And it must have been either really fun or really difficult or both as an actor to do that. But it just seemed like it was so much fun for them to do, especially 3.
Yeah, it's always fun to play the bad guys, I'm sure. And I'm sure they would tell you that as well. Now, this marks the first episode directed by the late Steve DeMarco, who passed away late last year. Steve was a unique individual. He, I have a couple of pictures of him you'll see later on. He's very much kind of a sort of a punk, growing up punk, if you will. And, he had a style all his own. And, I have to say, I mean, this episode was one of those episodes. I mean, that I rewatched and I think enjoyed more on the rewatch. I've said in the past, like I'll watch episodes and there'll be times I'll be like, we could have done this, we could have done that. But this is one of those episodes where I thought actually was very strong, written by my former writing partner, Paul Mully, and directed by Steve DeMarco, and just, overall a terrific job by the cast.
Well, so Joe Yodel gets again the line of the episode, right? The episode title.
Yeah, as I said, I hate coming up with episode titles. So what I did was I just would go through each script and come up with 3 lines that would be, somewhat reflective of the theme of the episode, and then I put it to a vote on Twitter, and the fans decided. And I've seen the other side of you.
What was the name of this one again?
I believe it's I've seen the other side of you.
Oh, okay.
It's something she says to 3. Last week's was Kill Them All, which was an easy one. Yeah.
So it was an interesting episode.
I really like the structure of it. I don't know why it stood out to me so much, because occasionally you'll see other shows do that, but I think it was the fact that you show the little clip at the beginning, then go back and go forward, and then when you get to that point that you pulled, you show clips, and you're like, all right, you already know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the action.
Yeah.
Oh
Shorthand.
my God. That's so much better. Like, one of my pet peeves in TV is when they just give you redundant information. Like, oh, here's an alternate shot. No, you're smart. No, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes back and 10 hours earlier, and it's kind of it's unsettling to see how the position that 5 is put in, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think 5 is really, she was running the show, the whole thing, everything, and things got away from her. I think that not only did she program the android, but that the nanites and everything else, because if you notice, what was it, 3 and 4, when 2 went down, after she broke the link, 3 and 4 went down also. So I think there's a link there between them, and that 5 knows what's going on. She knows, and she's just panicked because things got out of control with her.
I like the theorizing.
Now, did anybody have a favorite moment in this episode?
Well, I like the fact that 4 smiled more in this episode than just about all the other ones, even though it was a fiendish, evil smile. There it was.
It was.
I like that too.
I didn't like it. I was like, why is he smiling? That's never a good sign.
Oh my goodness. I didn't have a particularly favorite moment. I liked it. The episode is just great.
Oh,
I like the smiles.
I have a favorite moment. I don't know why. The person who was the guy who's the nurse from the prison, that guy. He's cute. I don't know why. It was this episode. I'm just like.
Now,
hello.
do you know who he is? His name is Sean Seapost. He played the part of, I believe, Adam Strange on Krypton, the short-lived Superman prequel. He was also the sister of Jessica Seapost, who played the character of Tash, who were one of like the 4, that brother-sister duo. That so they are actually related.
No, why did you ruin that?
I really like him too. I remember when I was first watching it, I was like, this guy's so random. Like, he was like the nurse, and then he ends up like, getting away with everybody and just being on the ship. It was so great.
Yeah, Sean's terrific, and he's a very likable on-screen presence.
And he's cute.
Did you check out his Instagram then?
Excuse me one moment.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I remember actually we were in the lunch line, and Melissa was like, Sean, what's going on here? And it's a picture of him shirtless, and the guy is like ripped. He's like,
You're hurting, Katie.
Just keep going.
So we see,
Yep.
yeah, we see that they start out talking about one. It's really quite the roller coaster of this episode. They start out in one place, it goes really far away, and then comes back. How affected is two about this whole one thing, Joe?
I think she's very affected, but she won't let on how much she is affected. You see her off the top, drinking and obviously not getting drunk, but trying, and it's something that kind of quietly eats at her, and she obviously is going to come gunning for revenge, and you don't really want to be on the receiving end when two comes after you, is all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
I also really like that like 3 was like in this scene, like they kind of just talk about like that whole like traitor situation, and she's like she admits that she was convinced that he was the traitor, and she's like kind of like admitting that to herself now, and I think like that pains her even more because she feels guilty about the loss, like even more so because of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, what do you think about this question from Jeff? Thank you, Jeff, the super chat. Is two's addiction a theme in this episode? And I assume he's referring to the addiction of to the Canadian connected to the ship, right? The Euphoria.
I guess you could say it's a theme in this episode. I mean, the theme of the entire show really resolves around, the ability to change. Are people born bad? Are they products of their environment? And this is the struggle they face throughout. In this, in this instance, she goes back to the person she was. She doesn't have the benefit of the experience she's had the past few months getting to know these people. So, and she's presented with the ability to go even darker, heading over, even further to the dark side, and she seems to sort of re-embrace that. So, I mean, again, it shows the potential for people to be kind of swayed, in either direction.
Yeah.
I like that overall when people are, especially good writing, where people are put into circumstances where their personalities are presented with horrific, sometimes life-threatening or extremely challenging things, to see how their personalities play or change. It's a mark, especially with good writing like this, with expressing humanity. And I love that about good shows, where you can relate to some degree. Even if they're a bad character, there's something in that mark of humanity that rings true. And it's not just the story that pulls you in, but there's a familiarity with people that or things that you've seen.
That's why I always kind of really related to 4. And I was like, and I can't say anymore. Thank you.
She used to be an assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Anybody who gets a really, really bad headache is going to end up going total bad guy. That was interesting.
Yeah. As someone who gets migraine headaches, their portrayal was spot on. You're just like, oh, it's not going to be so bad. Oh, gosh.
Jeff, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Toward the end of the episode, where everything's calmed down, and the android says that both of their memories are still in their heads, but separated by a wall. That reminded me, or made me think of, like, just on my regular computer where I have partitions, different things. And, she was suggesting that if you took everything out of, this partition and stuck it in with the rest, that it would create havoc. So it's like having 2 operating systems, basically. You got Linux on one and
Oh
Windows
gosh, heaven help you if you
Mhm.
have Linux on your computer.
Oh, my husband has
I have
a
several
couple, yeah.
computers. So yeah.
No,
Um,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one with mint on it. But, but also, if you remember when I was on this program before, I mentioned that I actually knew a girl who had been in an accident and lost her entire memory.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah,
she
that's right.
came when she could function and speak English, and she had to look at pictures of her family. She didn't know who they were. She had to recreate everything, and it was all new. And I spoke to her sister, and she said that the weird things that she as a sister noticed was that her sister used to not like vegetables,
Mhm.
but now with her new developing personality, that she loved vegetables. So
Wow.
Interesting.
that to me shows, maybe I'm totally wrong, but that her dislike or liking isn't the biological thing with the body saying no, this body can't have this. It's got to do with more with what goes on in the brain, with what the
Yeah.
brain activates and triggers on.
It could very well be an experience she had. She had a bad experience when she was younger, and that informed her take on vegetables moving forward. It's the same thing with two. I mean, without the trauma of the past she experienced, as Rebecca,
Right.
she's a
Yeah.
completely different person.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
And I really
Yeah.
like how in this episode you can like just drag that out and see how different they truly are side by side after you
Mhm.
get to know them. Like, I think as a season 1 episode, it probably wouldn't have worked all that well.
Mhm.
And then you get to season 2 and now you actually care about them and you're like, what are you doing? And
Mhm.
it's just, I think this was a perfect time, at least from where I am now in the franchise, to pop that in.
Mhm.
And I could see where, Katie, where you were probably frustrated quite a bit because you realize Joe is completely capable of destroying a main character, and you got 5 on the run. It's like, oh, is this going to be the next on the list?
Oh, I'm highly aware of that.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
yes, the reason why I now keep a stress ball on my couch.
Yeah, I
It's
was like that the first time I watched it too. I was so mad. And I was like, are they all gonna die? They're all gonna die after this.
We'll just do a revolving door. Stop at a prison, pick up new people. Let's do this.
Well, that's
Now, let's just
it.
remember-
That's one of the points of bringing in the new cast members, because you don't know at this point, are they? I mean, creatively within the constraints of the show, they're just kind of new cast members or new crew members. But as a viewer watching, you automatically do think, could these be replacements? And in fact, it's something that apparently Anthony brought up to the cast when, after reading the first couple of scripts, he's like, well, this is kind of interesting. I mean, basically, Mike Dopit's character is kind of like my character, kind of the kind of grizzled veteran, and Melanie's character is like, Two's character, who's kind of the kick-ass female, and they it crossed their mind as well, which was interesting.
Oh God.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm glad that everyone caught on to
Mhm.
the chance that they're expendable. Like I felt like I was playing a game of Uno, kind of, where you're just draw 3 cards, you're gonna just drop a couple, keep the new ones. Like, what you doing there?
People are replaceable, sadly. Well, most people
No.
that aren't, but look around. For the most part, the guy that's 7-Eleven, he can be replaced by another guy who works at 7-Eleven. I think someone like Elon Musk, I think, I don't know that there's many people with his personality or his creativity. There, what would it be like if everybody was like him? Oh my God, it'd be total chaos.
We'd be screwed.
I remember when I first watched this episode, I was still in a little bit of a denial about one's death. So I kept like waiting. Like I was like, okay, he's gonna come back. This is sci-fi. Like he's gonna come back. Like somehow. He's gonna bring him back somehow. Or like Jace Corso or something. And then I was just like, what is happening? This show is totally like just I don't understand what's going on right now.
Joe, do you want to take Time Prophet's question? Why didn't Melissa's nanobots hold her memory? I mean, they are computers. I guess they don't work that way.
Well, that's a simple answer. Yeah, they don't work that way. They're, I guess they're not designed to store backup memory. They're more sort of, physical enhancers or physiological enhancers rather than neural enhancers.
Yeah.
That's why he's always back at your computer.
Yeah.
Right.
And your hard drives. Like if you have external ones, I had an external hard drive go down on me once, and I was just like, "Oh no!" Like,
terrible.
oh my God, so much stuff, like so much anime and like all sorts of stuff. I was like, "No."
If we have anyone on here who's like a high school student, I don't know if we do, look up for a college that gives you free Google Cloud service storage for life. My college does that. I am such a moocher. I have like 4 terabytes stored. I can't even imagine the bill.
Wow.
Now, Joe, I was saving this question for later, but there is a moment where Roger Cross, where Six's character could be addressed, but he's not, with regards to 3. Well, do you want to talk about? Can I ask you that question now, or
Sure. Yeah.
So, like 3 is going to come across him in the stasis pod, right? When he goes to the vault.
Right.
Was he put in the vault, or was he just down in the underbelly?
I thought he was in the vault where that lady was, the Sleeping Beauty lady.
I don't.
Might
So
not
I
be
think
in
they
the
would
vault.
have put him in the vault. I will have to sort of rewatch. To my knowledge, he was just in the underbelly.
Yeah, it didn't look
Someone
like
in
the
the
vault to
comments.
me.
Well, I'll have to
Yeah, I thought
sort
it was
of-
just like the cargo area.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
So Mike Dopa is a great. Well, it was great. We had him last time with us, and it was he's just an amazing actor.
Mhm. Is
He was great.
this the last we've seen of Roger Cross's character? Who knows? I mean,
Oh.
well, we know, but Katie
Oh.
doesn't know.
What? Well, now I want to know. You're gonna make me wait another week to find out.
Now, Katie, did you think for one moment that maybe the 3 new members or the 3 people who've come on board were maybe responsible for what was going on?
Not so much responsible, but I had a feeling they were going to take advantage of the situation. Like, I know in my experience as the goody two-shoes that I am, if someone was like, no, we got the gun, you can go to your bedroom in a galley, here you go. I'd be like, oh, would you look at that? Crisis, my time now. So I was expecting them to just kind of go AWOL and just totally mess everything up on the ship and try and mutiny. So I was keeping an eye on them. I'm still not, I mean, the nurse, I think he'll be okay. He seems like a nice guy. The other two.
Well, I'm sort of curious then, on a scale of, rank them by most trustworthy to least trustworthy, how do you rank them?
Nurse at the top.
Okay.
I could be influenced by things. But I think the bottom 2 is just a tie. I don't trust
Really?
either of them.
No,
Interesting.
I definitely trusted the girl the least.
I don't know. She
Next.
seems kind of like, she seems like she's, has her own agenda, but at the same time, she's a loner. So I feel like she would get along well with a crew of misfits, but I don't know. I should get a shirt that just says Dark Matter, I don't know. Because that's everything right now.
Yeah, I remember I definitely didn't trust her at all because the other guy, you can kind of like he's got, like, he's more archetypical in a sense. So like you can kind of see like where his mentality is at and stuff like that. But she was more like a wild card. So I was like, I don't know about her. Like, and I kept remembering her being into the way she was introduced, like in the room with them. And I was like, how, like, what was she placed there for a reason? And just like all the way that she like carried herself and everything.
Pretty good with the gun too. She
exactly
seemed to know her way around.
She took me down too. I was like, I
think she and two are sisters. I think I said it last time, and I'm going to say it again. I think they're sisters in like a weird, neuro network thing.
Jeff Beeler asks, "Where does Nyx disappear to?"
What do you mean?
Because she's just like she doesn't get picked up by them, and then she shows up with the guns. But she's
oh yeah,
like she's just out of that. Yeah.
She's staying one step ahead of. I mean, again, it goes to show her how capable she is. That basically everyone else gets captured except her, and she not only is able to stay one step ahead, but she's able to sort of, amass an armory to spring them and hopefully turn the tables.
Oh,
that must have been heavy to carry all that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought she went looking for guns.
I think she's the sneakier one. The Eric's character, being the boss of the group, would have to have more principles and be able to keep his word in order to make deals. And as we see toward the end, where the probably at that asteroid that he mentioned, they've got a signal. So there's more to these coming. And there's, he has connections. There's more things about him that, he's got the contracts with other outside people, I think,
He says as much,
Because, if he has connections, that means he has another life he can, divert to. Exactly. So maybe I trust him the least.
Yeah, but he's got to have principles in order to make deals. You have to keep your word. That's
true.
I definitely underestimated the nurse. That's all I'm going to have to say.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Thank you, Cardinal Sin. He says, Cardinal Sin Gil says, Joe, huge fan of your work on Stargate and Dark Matter, sir.
Thank you so much. Hopefully you'll be a fan of my next series, whether it be a new one or maybe a Dark Matter miniseries at some point. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
And he adds, looking forward to the new Powder Mages series. Yes.
As do I. Thank you.
When are you guys shooting for? For what year?
Oh, but basically right now it's like I said, we're putting together the Bible and the pilot. We're going to go out and hopefully try and secure a broadcaster. Whenever, it's hopefully by this summer. And then, if things move quickly, we'll aim to sort of be in production probably early next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the show Bible. For Dark Matter, how early on did you have that? Was it ever set in stone, or were you constantly adding on to it as the series progressed?
No, actually, to be honest with you, the Bible is really a formality that didn't really sell the show. We put together the Bible as part of a kind of a development deal, like I'm doing with Powder Mage. But when it came time to pitch the show, Jay Firestone, president of Prodigy Pictures, just went out with the comic book, and that told the story. I've already posted it, but it's something else I will mention once we're done. I had kind of two different versions of the endings for the show. There was one very dark one and one more hopeful one. But in any case, we'll save that discussion for another time. And that made up part of the Bible as well. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Now I'm worried even more.
And we see that when Mike.
I'm sorry. One last question about this thing that you're talking about, though. Which one would you have led more towards, the darker one or the lighter one? Are you more of a George R.R. Martin type of person, or are you
No, actually, as the series went on, I kind of leaned away from the darker.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's good.
But some of those darker elements still kind of figured into the to the show, as you'll see later on.
It's like chocolate sprinkles on ice cream. It's fine. I'm
Mhm.
okay with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly, Katie.
We are getting all very excited with this. Wow. No, seriously, I can feel we're literally getting very excited about this show. And Cardinal Sin says if you're looking for professional screenwriters, he's throwing his hat in the ring.
All right, whenever that next show lands, circle back.
Thank you, Cardinal Sin, for your super chat, my friend. Thank you. And hello, geeks enjoying Nerdrotica and Kapla Bird and everybody who's joining us now, and Fluger. So when Mike Dopin's character is given the navigation, he 5 walks away, and he says, he connects with what's her name, the character's name, with Inga's character.
Yeah,
right.
Inga Canterell's character, but no.
Yeah, when 5 walked away, I kind of yelled at the screen, like, "What are you doing?"
That's interesting, Katie, that when I asked you to rate how trustworthy, you said the Doctor #1, and you tied Mike's character, Eric's Nero, and Nick's character, even though you actually see him contact this woman who seems to have her sights set on 5.
Yeah, like, see, he might like screw with a portion of the crew, but oh gosh, what is her name? The lady, Nick. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have a terrible memory, but I think she could like take down the entire ship if she wanted to. And seeing as that would harm the crew anyway, I tie them both because I don't trust them not to mess everything up.
All right.
I trust the nurse because he seems like 5, and I might ship them a little bit. But that's just me. No one else? Great. I'm on the side.
Well, he proved himself to be a manipulator in prison, so you expect him to continue to do that. Where Nick's, the whole time she seems to, in kind of a weird way, I attribute it to her good acting, to ingratiate herself with the crew for one reason or another, and we don't know what reason. Is she honest about things, or does she have an ulterior motive? We don't know at this point. So it was just, I would have to rate her as right in the middle.
I will say this to Katie, that none of these 3 characters are wholly honest. They're all hiding some secret.
The nurse is married, isn't he?
That's the worst, isn't it?
To his sister.
I definitely underestimated that guy.
Oh no.
Joe, for anybody who wasn't here last time, do you want to tell us again how you discovered or how you brought this actress on board?
So we were actually holding auditions for the role, and usually what happens is we either go to the audition or the auditions go on without us, and the director, our casting director, sends us a tape of the auditions. And on occasions, there are certain actors who will not audition for the role, but they'll have their agent send in a reel, and it's just a reel of the scenes they have done in other shows. So that you're like, oh, it's that woman, we need to hire her. And one of the actresses sent in a reel, and we were watching the reel, and she was frankly not great. However, in one of the scenes in her reel, she was acting opposite Inga Canterell. And I was like, well, this actress is not that great, but this actress is fantastic. And Vanessa was like, actually, I know Inga. She'd actually been on Lost Girl, apparently, Vanessa's last show. So we reached out to Inga, and she came, she flew up from LA and did the show. So she was cast off someone else's demo reel, which is a first for me.
At that point, you should go buy a lottery ticket. That's incredible luck.
Lesson for all the actors.
Did you ever tell her that story?
Sorry?
Did you ever tell her that story?
Yes. Yes.
What did she say?
You thought it was funny?
What were you saying, Adega?
I just say a lesson for all the actors who submit videos: make sure you're the only one in it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Can't be
don't
upstage.
say no for someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry, Inga Cadrinell is her name.
Ooh.
So we see here that that 3, 4, and 2 wake up, and they're their old selves again.
That scared me. Like I read the episode description. I was like, okay, I don't usually do this, but I'm just gonna check. And so I knew going in a little bit. And then I think I just got more and more worried when I realized, okay, wait, they are completely wiped. It's not like a mix of their old and new, which I kind of, I don't know. For some reason, I thought maybe that would happen. They'd peek through at the last second, but seeing them as completely different, I was genuinely worried for Five's safety.
You asked at the beginning which scene you thought was your favorite of this episode. This one was mine that you had the picture of, where she says, "We were friends." Yeah.
This one was
Yeah.
great.
Oh, and actually, this to me, Joe, this episode explains a lot for me on the rewatch. For without saying anything that happens, but
I can unplug.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Like it for me, it explains a lot of certain things that come up in the future, why things happen in the future. Anyway, for me, it explains
One more
a lot.
thing too. Part of the reason why I like this too, and it's the actress for Jodine. She has some of the most expressive eyes out of anybody I've seen in shows. You could tell exactly what she's trying to emote just by her eyes. Didn't he have to use words, gestures, or anything except for her eyes? It's a phenomenal gift that she has.
Yeah, she is great. And I have mentioned that. I worked with Jodelle when she was 13 on Stargate Atlantis, where she played Princess Harmony, this precocious sort of young royalty. And she knew all her lines whenever Joe and Joe Flanagan and David Hewlett, who were the stars of the series, would drop their lines. She would always prompt them. And she was always amazing. So basically, when I wrote the role, I had her in mind, and she nailed the audition. But she's been acting since she was 2, so she actually has more experience than when we did the show than any of the other cast members, which is amazing.
Yeah, wow, it's noticeable.
So this scene that you have, I'm actually worried for Sean, because he does turn red. He does turn like a bright shade of red.
Magenta.
Yeah.
That's that method acting. Just hold your breath for the entire scene. Really make those colors pop. Now I didn't notice. Did 4 have his swords on him this episode, or was he just going with the guns?
They didn't come up in the episode, no.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't see him with the sword a lot.
I feel like if he was hunting someone down, he would grab his sword. Or is that like the good guy version? He'll give him a chance by using a sword. Which I don't know if that's much of a chance. He seems lethal either way.
Well, actually, I mean, Joe, would they? Was that even in your mind that he wouldn't touch the?
No,
touch his sword?
I think really at this point he wants to sort of get them as quickly as possible, and really the quickest way to take them out is with a gun from a distance. Anyways, I mean, he's able to sort of whereas a sword would be more close quarters combat.
So he has more fun with a sword, and this is all business.
Exactly.
What a psychopath!
And Joe, they're put away in the vault, right?
They are not put away in the vault.
Oh, that's not the vault.
No.
It's like
Oh, okay.
the side of an airlock, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So is the vault the only place on the ship that isn't supplied with constant oxygen flow?
Yes.
Okay.
Although there are ways to essentially, seal off sections and vent atmosphere.
Oh, please tell me that doesn't happen in a future episode. Oh, no.
Yeah, Katie, was there any twist and turn in this episode that you really didn't expect? Because remind everybody that Katie's watching this for the first time.
I was surprised. Oh gosh, what the part where the transmission gets sent off the ship and it's that lady. That's it's very vague. I'm terrible with names, but I don't know. Part of me thought, maybe he'll just like screw with the control panel and set him on a new course or something, not just like actually contact someone. So that was an interesting little diversion in the path. I'm interested to see how this plays out because of it. I thought he was just going to do something simple like, oh, I'm just going to take you to my base and we're going to take the ship. Hooray. Now it seems a lot more, I don't want to say personal, but I have a feeling it's going to have a more personal effect than just like taking over a ship.
So here we see that the two says to Portia says to the other two that maybe the girl with the green hair is right about something, that they a year has gone by, right?
Yeah, they she does mention the fact that I think
14 months.
14 months. Thanks. There you go.
So they're like
up their memories.
or is there like a bunch of like hidden stories? Like I see a mini series, like a prequel. Gaps.
Now, James, are you? I forgot. Is this your first watch through, or is it your second?
It's my first watch through, so I'm not looking ahead.
Hey!
So that's why I'm like
Theories.
coming up with theories as to who is what. And I think the android is I mean, she's down this episode. She's her AI nanites are rebuilding her. But I kind of just because I haven't looked ahead, I still think 5 is the key to all that's going on. How did she get on the Rasa in the first place? And with just I think that she as what is she, 16? She's an orphan. She has nobody to take care of her or to look for her. I think maybe she did stow away on the ship. The android, I'm totally making this up. The android found her and became friends, and that they just have an affinity with each other more than anything else, and that there's something going on between 5 and the android on a almost a family level. It's like more than a brother sister, a sister or a mother father family thing. It's like they're one. It's like I just kind of had that.
I just have to point out how Man Hands talks with his hands all the time. Sorry, James.
It's okay. I'm interested in nobody's mentioned the Band-Aid on the side of my face. Maybe you can't see it.
Oh, did you? I didn't see it. We didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's lighting.
I got hit by a tree branch and it put like little sticks in my.
That's why I cut it down the ash tree. Silent.
No, I think this was actually. I tried to figure out what kind of tree it was. I think it was a locust tree. I have no idea. It had spikes on it, like 2
Ooh.
long. Yeah, it's a nasty little bugger. So yeah.
Can I see the hands?
What's that?
Can I see the hands? Like they're so famous. Oh my god. So funny.
Candy, you were going to say something. You were going to jump in?
Yes. So what if 5's okay, Joe, you could laugh as much as you want about this. What if 5's parents were part of the creation of the android and they were going to create an android uprising? That's why her circuitry's all screwed up and they were killed because of it. And so that's how 5 and the android are so close without knowing it.
Wow, that's a very interesting theory.
So that's a nice way of saying I'm dead wrong, right?
I'm saying it's a very interesting theory. I guess we're going to find out because we will find out more about the android's origins in a later episode.
I like your imagination, Katie.
Oh, it is very strange this time of night.
Android uprising. Interesting.
I'm down for it.
And here we see Five telling Three about Sarah, what happened, and we see that a little bit further down in a few scenes later. Four is telling him that it doesn't, like, he's kind of criticizing him for being emotional.
That's what I really liked about Three in this scene. Okay, you guys finally got me. I like Three, but the emotional gut punch, like, you can read it on his face. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Every episode, I just become more and more impressed with the actors that you cast.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
We're actually very lucky. I mean, they're great, but I mean, we were really fortunate to have landed on, just a solid cast from top to bottom.
Joe.
Yes.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Because this question hasn't come up. Is there anybody who auditioned that you was left out because the role was filled that you would have wanted to have included? I don't mean to put you on the spot, by the way. If you,
yeah, I will say yes. There were, there were two regulars, two recurring guest stars who actually were finalists for two of the roles of regulars.
Cool.
oh wow!
So
Hey, they got to be on the show.
yeah. Well, one of them was I will say Mike Dopit, who plays Alex Nero, and the other one is Ellen Wong, who plays Misaki, and she it wasn't the role of two, I will say.
Oh.
Interesting. John Burns, thank you, John Burns. I think Five likes to tinker, and the android is just something else for her to tinker with. Interesting.
A tinker that talks back.
Interesting. Thank you, John Burns. Interesting. Yeah, she's a tinker.
The android is extremely protective.
Oh yes, she is.
She's the mother to the crew. She's the mothership.
James, do you want to comment real quickly about Jeff Beeler's comment about Fallen Angels?
Oh, what about Fallen Angels?
If James can tell us about Fallen Angels, the American neo-noir anthology television series that ran in 93 to 95. You were involved in that?
I had a small detective role on that, and it was an interesting show. Darren McGavin, I think. No, was it him? I can't remember. It was a while ago, dude.
I was -3 years old when it premiered.
I remember some guy came in with a machine gun, Thompson machine gun, sprayed everybody. We were all jumping around on the floor. It was a show I really didn't watch. I just worked on.
I love the honesty. That is
sorry, but that's the way it is around here. There's too much to watch, too much to keep up on.
It's true.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And then we all have lives to lead too. You have to go out. Life is really out there. Life is out there. You gotta, make sure you got air in your tires and gasoline, and even though we're all shut down, you still have to interact with people. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. That's important. There's just this checkup. But there's just too much content to watch and keep up on. And
I know, and then there's also like reading books and stuff, which is important. And I feel like my reading has been left on the on a hanger for a little bit, and I'm like, no, I gotta read more and watch less.
Yeah.
That reminds me, because I've been reading No One Judge fan fiction, and have any of you read the Dark Matter fan fiction that's out there?
No.
Do that in your free time. Just
Right.
a little gift. just
Really?
go check it out. It's pretty
Is there
amazing.
any subset of the fan fiction you particularly enjoy, or?
At the moment, it's like opening a window after you've been asleep in a dark room. It's just blinding from all directions. I've not found a specific niche little corner of it, but oh my, you created quite the experience on fan fiction.
Well, but that would worry me if I was you, though, because fan fiction has a potential to spoil things too. So I would say hold off on reading that until you're done.
I haven't come across anything yet. Mostly because I don't know what's possible, and if these people
link it to us on Twitter, Katie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, some of it
You
I
may
probably
not
should
know
have.
if it's spoiled yet, though. That's
Fair
the whole
enough.
thing. You can go through it and have no idea that things are being twisted from what it will be in the future.
Yeah, I probably should. It's just then you get into the fan art, and it's just I've spoken too much. I shouldn't.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
The fan art.
Question for Joe: if we have, if Joe can comment on John Scalzi's red shirts, and it's on writing for the television.
Yeah, Red Shirts is a great novelist. John. I've been a longtime fan of John's work. One of the first books I read was Old Man's War, which I loved, and so much so that I ended up recommending it to everybody on Stargate. And based on everyone's love of John's book, we ended up bringing him aboard as a series consultant on Stargate Universe. And he was very kind enough to dedicate Red Shirts to Brad Wright, who's a showrunner on Stargate Universe, and me. And Red Shirts is actually it's a really fun. All John's books are fun. What I love about him is he mixes sci-fi with humor, but Red Shirt especially so. And if you're a fan of Star Trek, I think you would very much enjoy Red Shirt. So that's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
I'm currently going back and watching the original series with my brother, who's not into sci-fi all that much.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. So I'm going to have to maybe propose that we watch that together too.
Nice.
Joe, you went kind of Matrix on us, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, we would, we needed some sort of visual to convey her connection to the ship, and this was, one of the.
Cool. Wow.
Again, kudos to our visual effects supervisor, Lauren Bancroft Wilson, came up with this one.
Now, are you giving them? Are you giving them any instruction to guide them in this direction?
We give them, kind of idea of what we're looking for, and then they'll come back at us with usually choices, and we'll give them notes and say, maybe this, maybe that, add some color here, maybe make this faster, and then they'll go back and it's very much a collaborative process, as is every aspect of production.
And I just want to put up Kareen's comment from before. Imagine Kit as a person. Android is kind of like the ship's voice alive.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that the android's counterpart always creeps me out. Like, especially like the shots that the director did in this episode, with like the angles and stuff. And I was like, oh, this android will go bad at any time.
We called her Randroid because she's kind of the red version of our android.
Yeah. Randroid. She freaks me out. I was like,
And it's so great that I don't know about you guys, but I view her almost as a completely different thing. Like the same actress, practically the same clothes, almost the same hair, and it's so different.
Exactly. She's so evil looking.
And Joe, how many versions of the android did Zoe play? You said she played like 4 or 5.
She plays
or 3.
Yeah,
or
she
4?
plays. Well, not necessarily. Well, I'm not going to give anything away, but basically, she plays 2 versions. I think we've seen here, and we're going to see another version very soon, and we're going to see actually I think two more. Actually, three versions. We've seen actually I think is it two versions? I think we'll see 3 or 4 more.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't gotten to my favorite version of her yet, but I do like
I
her,
know.
except for the red shirt.
Well, maybe we won't have to wait long. We won't have to wait long.
If I can wait more than a month, I will be so mad.
The other thing that I really liked about the episode, though, like when Five was kind of like talking to the android, and then she was like telling her, well, like, this is the risk, like if I do this, and it just kind of shows more how like brave Five is, that she's willing to risk herself in order to do this so that she can, well, A, get her friends back, and B, probably not get killed, because they're crazy now. So it was like, I'll risk my life doing this, or I could risk my life like, the other way. Might as well take this risk. And I thought that was kind of funny. And then there was a line where she was like, "That's what she said," and I was thinking to myself, "Is that like that's what she said?" Joke was? Did you insert that?
No,
line
that
in
was
there?
not an intentional.
Okay.
I don't get those jokes. I'm just, I guess, too pure-minded. I was going back and rewatching it like, wait, what? Did I miss something? Come on, I went to college. I should know this.
Yeah, I kind of
Thank you, John Burns, for the super chat. And Fallen Angels, Danny Glover played Philip Marlowe. That seems very intriguing to me. Danny and Bonnie Bedelia each won Emmy nominations.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, John Burns. Thank you for the support. I did see. This is the third time I've seen this question. That's why I'm going to ask you, James. Everybody wants to know if you're still in touch with Val Kilmer.
No, actually, no. He went to Chatsworth High School, as did I, as did Kevin Spacey, and also Mayor Whittingham. He last I heard, he was living in New Mexico somewhere. Really don't know. I did watch Top Gun the other day and see him on that. But
I went.
No, it's. I went to Chatsworth High School, and for some reason, Chatsworth High School seemed to pump out a bunch of people.
Your theater department must have been great.
Yeah, we had stunt people, stunt coordinators, all kinds of different people come out of there. But it is here in the San Fernando Valley. I'm sure that every high school within Los Angeles has people that worked in the business, or their parents worked in the business. Right now people are hurting real bad because of the shutdown. I know a guy who's a camera operator, and he's doing Instacart. So
oh wow,
yeah, things are rough. Things are very rough. And there's other examples. I know a guy who, boy, I hope something happens for him, because otherwise he's going to lose his home.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, things are. They got everything shut down. So I mean, there is a little bit of stuff going on, but.
Well, they kind of lifted the lockdowns a little bit today, right?
That's what I heard a lot on the radio. I haven't actually, turned the news on. The news itself.
Well, they stopped the stay-at-home order for now. So, and they're saying that the restaurants and stuff can open now a little bit.
Well, that's basically what I heard on the radio. They're going to make it so that you can go to restaurants but sit outside.
Yeah.
Something about opening gyms up a little bit, 't I don't know. A lot of people put on weight this last year. So. It's just the traffic is not actually. Traffic is. There's still a lot of cars out there because people do go supposedly where they need to go for their essential things. But I can't imagine if they suddenly said everything's good, go where you want to go. Traffic's going to be horrible. Bad, really bad.
Yeah, LA traffic has never been good.
Still, the alarm goes off, the radio goes on, and I get the traffic in the there's still accidents, traffic backup, the 405, the 110, everything's just, it's just traffic. There's a lot of people here, you know. But there's a lot of people hurting because of this shutdown stuff, and I don't think that it's going to be easy to fix things and have things come back. You know, you've got, you know, like Joe knows, you've got other satellite industries that depend on production. You've got food caterers, you've got people who are craft service people who buy their food, what they create for the set, they buy it at Costco or Smart and Final. You've got laundry services, you've got carpenters and people who come onto different sets, be they non-union or union or low budget, and there's just all kinds of things, you know. So someone on a set suddenly needs some Velcro and paint and screws, so they run over to Home Depot, and there's just a lot of everything trickles outward. There's nothing is everybody's connected in one way or another. I mean, it's like the restaurants. If you shut down the restaurant, that restaurant doesn't buy any more vegetables and fruit from the produce side of things. So then that person's gross income goes down as well. And so they have to sit there back and look and go, well, you know, we just lost all these restaurants. How are we going to adapt? Everything is connected. What everybody does, we're all connected in some way or another, you know.
Absolutely. Joe, Cardinal Sin asks, have you already written the pilot for Powder Powder Mages?
No, it's just one mage in the title, Powder Mage. And no, actually, I'm just working on the Bible first, then pilot.
And thank you, Cardinal Sin. We see that the firefight ensues with our three new members, or if you can call them new members of the crew. And can we call them new members of the crew, Joe?
Please, I like them.
Probationary members of the crew.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
And the nurse he's pretty good with a gun, though, huh, Joe?
He's pretty good with the gun, but Nix is actually even better with the gun.
I get. So
I mean,
later.
They're all criminals, so one would assume that, you know, they kind of know their way around a gun.
So later on, are we going to find out what their crimes were, or is that up to our imagination?
I'm just going to say, why don't you just keep watching?
Yeah, just wait and find out.
Okay.
So if she has such an experience with firearms, was she in the military?
Yes.
GA.
I mean, is she?
Possible.
Oh.
All I will say is that it's very unusual for someone to be able to go, you know, toe to toe with two.
I'm just trying to throw you off, Katie. I'm just trying to throw you off.
I'm trying to think, and I'm like, no, that'd be too would it? What? Maybe. I'm just glad that I'm suffering alongside another person.
Maybe
And
she's an alien. I'm just saying.
Well, it's Joe had said the first fight that she had with two was an impressive fight, and you never seen two last that long without taking somebody out in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, when they were in that little holographic world in prison, two complimented her on the fire. So person's more meets the eye.
Mm-hmm. Definitely more than meets the eye. And we're going to find out sooner than later.
Ooh.
Thank you, John Burns. Same dark matter time, same dark matter station. Yes. And thank you, John Burns, for your support. It's much appreciated, John Burns. We see here that we have 2 doing her Matrix stuff, and that 5 is gonna connect to in the infirmary. She's with I think she's in the infirmary, and she's gonna connect to the she's in the infirmary, and she's gonna connect to try to persuade. Is that the right word, Joe? Persuade.
Persuade.
2.
Sure.
To disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
It felt very strange watching 2 not in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, she's been chained to a table and like cutting her head open thing, but like this was a totally different kind of helpless.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I don't know, unsettling to see such a strong figure just be like, oh, she has a weak side too. Like, it felt so. I don't know. I'm hoping we explore it more.
Chances are good.
Yay!
We may.
It felt authentic. That's the word I would use.
Yeah. That's
any comments? Anybody have any comments about? Before we ask Joe about it, anybody has any comments about the threes lock bucks?
I think he's a softie and he's sentimental.
I had a thought. We're talking about a lot of memories with all these people that are gone, vanished, replaced with, memories wiped. Yet he's got a little box with souvenirs that are of his memories or mementos.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of interesting. And so far we haven't really seen anybody else, but he's got things that in a little box that are very important to him that remind him of his special times or memories
or they did at one point.
Yeah, but he holds these are important to his heart and who he is.
Now, I'm interested to see, do any of you guys keep like memento boxes, just that one dusty box underneath your bed that you keep important things of? Yeah?
I do.
We just have school boxes. We're guys.
Yeah. See, I started probably, maybe 15 years ago collecting things. And especially on my travels, on my storm chases, I've collected like spoons that were broken in the game Spoons and like little menus from these side shops that we just go to. And I will occasionally pull it out and look at it, and it brings back memories you completely forget. So I was starting to think maybe 3 would have a memory jolt from these items that are clearly really sentimental.
I have the first flower my husband, my boyfriend at the time gave me. I dried it like a piece of paper, and I still have that.
See, you guys need to get on the train.
And thank you, Nina, for putting up Admiral Doom's, who is Richard Simpson, the Memorial Fund. Thank you for putting that up. Anybody who can help the family out, please do. And let's see. And there was a question for Joe. Oh, Joe, do you have any pictures of Lulu and Pip you can post? Says
Lulu was my Frenchie. So basically, I named Three's guns after my dogs. Bubba is the big gun, and his sidearm was Lulu, and Pip was actually Anthony Lemke's, I think, neighbor's dog.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was after your dog's names.
Yeah. And actually, I have a photo. I can dig up of when Anthony came to Vancouver. When we were living in Vancouver, he was doing a show in Vancouver, and I offered him to stay with us, and so he stayed with us for the few days that he was in town. And I got a picture of him with the real Bubba, my pug, kind of real thing. Bubba. Yeah.
That's so.
So yes, I do have photos, but they're online on the blog. You can find them on the blog for sure.
And I'm gonna put up the link to Joe's blog, because if anybody is not following Joe's blog, you should be, because there's a lot of cool stuff on there.
Thank you.
And all the, like, you can go back and look at any old posts and stuff, right, Joe? Because there's a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of content
there's tons of dark matter stuff, tons of Stargate stuff.
And you've been doing that, Joe. You've been doing that for how long?
Is it like at least 13 years I've been blogging?
Oh,
Yeah,
And you haven't like missed a day, right? Or you have
no. There's sometimes when I've been kind of late, but no, there's a blog entry for every day between
holy cow.
I think 2000, like 2006, 2007.
That's insane.
That's
It is
commitment.
crazy. Yeah.
Wow. Impressive.
Now, I had a question about the wardrobe, because
Mhm.
many know I'm a cosplayer. Did you like know if the wardrobe department just bought clothes, or did they sew it out of fabric? I know that seems like the hard way to do things, but some shows tend to do that.
It really depended. A lot of sort of the kind of the more basic stuff is bought, but things like Six's coat or Two's really cool jacket that you'll be seeing in an upcoming episode, those were all made. Obviously, the android's uniform was
You just walk into a
created
Target and buy it.
by Noreen. But that's a great question, a point for discussion for Noreen Landry, who's our costume designer, who I intend to have on the show eventually.
I feel like Five's outfits were like all picked from like Salvation Army, or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Some of her outfits were like just so crazy, like that pineapple
Yes.
that pineapple sweater. Crazy.
Yeah.
I should track that down.
And she's it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
No, I just see you put up a link to my blog. That's just sort of one of my recent posts on the sordid and shameful history of deep dish pizza. If you guys are,
Which I fell for completely. I was
That was-
like, this is, I just cannot believe it. You were such fake news, Joseph.
what are you talking about? It's just, there's no arguing with history. That's what's it. That's the story of deep dish pizza. I mean, anyways.
I'm intrigued now. I need to check this out.
Cliffhanger question.
So embarrassing. I totally fell for it. I was like, what?
Who did 3 signal?
We will find out next episode.
We'll find out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Inadvertently single.
That next episode is by the way, next episode is a real change of pace, isn't it, Joe?
I think every episode is kind of a change of pace, but this, it's kind of one of the type of episodes I love to do, which is kind of like a multi-layered story where you're touching on various characters. And in this episode, we find out quite a bit about one character in particular. We get into their backstory, and it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. So.
Joe!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're just going to be on next week with a box of tissues.
I don't know.
I think Jeff Beeler. I think that. I'll go ahead. Does anybody want to answer this question?
No, I think she came in with a set of clothes, and then basically when she became a member of the crew, she stuck around, and the crew bought her clothes.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
they've been to like a space station a couple times now,
Yeah.
and like I'm sure she's gone shopping a couple times.
I can see 3 though. Like, here, have a plaid shirt, and 2, here, have a jacket.
It's like, well, like when 3's going to like stock up on whiskey, she's a girl. She's going to like buy some clothes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, see you later.
She's also good at the 5-finger discount from her background. So
There you go. There you go.
And we always have some. Behind the scenes pictures that Joe sends us. So he's got some pretty cool pictures here.
I don't even remember what I sent. So
Who does Katie think 3 signaled? Says Jeff. Who does
Oh
Katie
gosh. I actually haven't I haven't thought about that.
I got to tell you, I don't think you're ever going to guess it.
Oh, his mom. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Either that or the president of some sort of planet. Those are the two best guesses. I don't know. That I'm gonna make a shirt next week, and it'll just say "Dark Matter." I don't know.
Joe, when we've been talking. By the way, I want to just let everybody know that as season 2 progresses, some of us have talked about this, and we're gonna. And Joe has nothing to do with this because this is all inspired by the fans. We're going to be ramping up into a campaign to see if we can help Joe get. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe season 4. Maybe miniseries.
Woo!
And so everybody stay tuned because we're going to need everybody's support as season 2 comes along. And I know that there's a lot of people here on Team MALLOZZI. So once we get ramping up, we'll see where we go.
I'm intrigued to see what you guys have in store.
Now that's another T-shirt I need to make.
Yeah.
Team MALLOZZI.
Bring back Raza. Yes. I will lead the charge.
See it now, live streaming as we march on the studio.
Okay, we got some of the cool pictures that Joe shared with us. And here we go. Oops. All right.
What do we have? Okay, so this was, I think I posted several photos of, this was the alleyway. And we actually shot this at the back of one of our stages. So this was like the work in progress.
Wow. By the way, in this in the scene where 5 is with 2 inside the Matrix kind of thing, that we see that she ends up showing compassion for and the android is telling her to finish her off because there's time is running out, right, Joe?
Yes.
I still think the android's just evil and enjoys it.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, what a convenient out. The ship could be destroyed. Kill her.
All right. And there's Melanie Liebert as Nyx with the gun, and again she demonstrates certainly a comfort with using the gun, like when she tells Devin, "Cover me," and then basically just kind of like lets loose, and kind of Devin's reaction kind of says it all.
She's
So,
insane. I like that, although it makes it dangerous.
Victoria Klein, our props master, with the final prop is a subspace transmitter.
That's pretty cool.
I'll let up in my office. They always come by and show me the works in progress.
Ooh.
So cool. I like the
I
blue.
wonder where it is. I wonder if I have it. I'll have to ask.
I don't know
for it.
why, but that reminds me of the Apocalypse box on Excalibur, even though they're different colors, but just this unusual design that lights up underneath. It was kind of cool.
I could totally see this in Joe's hallway at night as a nightlight.
Yeah.
See, now I'm trying to build on my theory. Like maybe his mom runs a crime syndicate and he just contacted the head honcho and it's like, Mom. I don't know.
I gotta say, Katie,
I'm gonna die on this hill.
I gotta say, well, it's interesting what you're saying. That's all.
Now there is Melissa with her Frenchie, Taya, who will make a guest appearance in a future episode.
Yay!
So cute.
I love that look. Like, what's going on, Mom? Where are all these people? Oh,
I love puppies.
same.
Okay, and there's Melanie going to gun school. So essentially, she's going to learn how to hold the weapon. She's going to learn how to shoot it.
Did you actually take people to gun school?
Well, in Stargate, we called it gun school, which they would get together with our armor and go through training. And it kind of was the same with Melanie, even though it was kind of a short scene. She did,
But would they shoot off like actual live rounds?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Nice.
Well, actually, yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
She looks really excited.
Yeah.
I would be too.
As one would be.
Okay, and there's our transformed
Allie.
alley set, and you see sort of the crew in the foreground. You'll see obviously Jodelle in the background, and then over on the right is Steve, our director.
Is that like on the top? Is that like for the CG buildings
Yes,
in the back,
it's
like
blue
the blue?
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, blue screen.
Now I know blue screens become more popular. Is there a reason why, as opposed to a green screen?
To be honest with you, throughout Stargate and even on Dark Matter, it was really more of it was up to the visual effects supervisor. On Stargate, whenever we were doing exteriors, we would use blue screen because there was so much greenery, on those forest locations.
Mm.
Definitely makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so this is the kind of the ramen shop that we see at the very end, and Ian Brock, our production designer, was able to put together like a bunch of kind of weird, kind of kitschy things, and one of these was kind of the floating chopsticks, and that's my wife, Akemi, sampling some of the ramen, the floating ramen.
That's so cool.
Back when she had blue hair.
Man, I'm so hungry right now, and that ramen is so good. I'm just like, oh my god, I want some ramen.
And Joe, just to be clear, you said that the green hair for 5 was natural, right, in the character?
Well, if she uses transfer transit and she comes out using green hair, then that will confirm that it's natural.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say.
Interesting.
I would love to have like naturally awesome hair.
It's
Like,
part
it
of
was
her
so-
DNA.
Everything's so dull. Like, let's add a pop of pink in there. Really freak out the doctors when you pop out.
So this was fun. Basically, we shot this on a weekend, and so we went in on the weekend, and this is kind of before we actually shot the scene. This is Akemi on the right again, and on the left is the effects supervisor Lauren Bancroft Wilson, showing off his knife skills.
Just want to see me cut this noodle? Want to see me cut this noodle again?
Jeff Beeler asks, do they learn not to flinch, Joe?
Yes, they should know how not to flinch.
Jeff has a great question. Who handled guns the best? Like, who was the best shot in real life?
Well, they're not really shooting at targets, so there is no best shot. Who handled the guns best? I don't know. I mean, I guess that's for you guys to decide when you watch the show.
Whoever has Bubba wins.
Certainly, Anthony Lemke was the most comfortable with his gun. I mean, he was able to sort of do the quick draw. He was twirling, whereas Alex Malari Jr. very comfortable with his swords.
And you said that they are shooting. They're the ones that are shooting the blanks, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that old show Voyagers, or one of the co-stars? He was working on a new show and he died because he had
John Eric Hexum.
What was his name?
John Eric Hexum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he was the star of the show, right? And,
what a tragedy! Wow.
Yeah.
It was, as I recall, he had a pistol.
Yep.
And it had a blank in it.
Mm-hmm.
And, no one quite realized that blanks are they're
They
not.
discharge. Yeah.
Yeah, they're impressively strong.
Apparently, he put it to his head and pulled the trigger, and it pushed all the wadding and everything into his head.
Mhm.
And skull damage and all the wadding and plastic and
Mhm.
different things into his head.
Oh my God. I didn't know
Very,
about
very-
this at all.
Very
Yeah.
sad. Very sad.
That's happened with a couple of actors, I think.
He was it. Oh gosh, darn it! There was a martial artist or something.
Crow.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phineas Bug. Okay, sorry guys, I didn't mean to. Yeah.
Just got to be careful. Safety first.
Yes.
Safety first, for sure.
That's another view of the alley. This is from the opposite end.
Are those black lights?
Yeah.
That's cool. See, I always wish that we had black lights just available in a hotel drawer or something. Like they never would, but I would love to scan my entire world with a black light and never leave my house again.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very authentic, Joe.
That always reminds me, when you said that, it reminded me of that episode of The Office.
Oh
They
gosh.
did that.
And there's Steve DeMarco, very unique guy, and he used to come up to the office some afternoons when we were waiting for lighting to set up, because most of the waiting around on a film set is just waiting for for them to kind of set up the lights. And so we'd come by the office and we would have a couple of glasses of scotch and chat.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. And it was a lot easier waiting with scotch though.
Did he have a motorcycle?
To the best of my knowledge, he did not have a motorcycle.
Oh.
No.
I feel like you have a skull kind of cap on the front, like the
Mhm.
long handlebars.
Hmm.
Totally could see that.
Which studios do you prefer to work at? Which
What
location studios do you prefer?
you mean location versus?
Yes.
I always prefer standing sets, just because it's just easier. Whereas going on location is always a nice change of pace, but you're traveling and it's that has to be factored into the day, and I think you ultimately accomplish less.
More than stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, John Burns. Yeah, John Eric Hexum. I believe
Yeah.
he died like the son of Bruce Lee. David Crow. Yeah. Thank you, John Burns. Thank you for your support. And this picture, Joe.
Oh, there's Ian Brock, our production designer, on his set.
And we had a great interview with Ian.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Now on Titans.
Yeah, and he said like some of his crew does some of the Expanse work as well, which I was commenting on my Expanse live stream last week, because I was like, I met
Mm-hmm.
the guy that does the set designs on Dark Matter. I was pushing this show.
There's other people in our community, Nina, who work on The Expanse. I'll let you know who they are,
Ooh, okay.
just so you know.
Oh yeah. Once again, the blue screen, and there's our stand-in Matt Purdy.
The all-important boom mic.
Yes, that's a tough job. I mean, you gotta, have strong arms.
Stamina goes
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You also have to have the awareness of a surfer, because you could knock someone in the head with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
like the Three Stooges. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow, Joe. How? I think we've touched upon this a couple of times. How? Would we have seen aliens in season 4 or season 5 of Dark Matter? Just out of curiosity.
Spoiler alert.
It is
Eh?
a spoiler alert, because chances are you may see aliens in
Okay,
the
I'm sorry.
near
I'm
future.
sorry.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Yes.
I heard it go
All
silent.
right.
So I put it
Good,
back
you're
in.
good.
My bad. This is what happens when you don't sleep.
Hey, join the club.
Okay, that's why you got us. That's why you got us. It's all good.
And caffeine.
So James and Katie, what are your thoughts on where this is going? That you're watching this for the first time.
I have a comment for Katie
Oh.
regarding your icicles.
Oh, good heavens, yes.
Okay, not only is there the hazard of bird droppings, but if there's stuff coming off a roof, there's also, the materials that roofing stuff's made out of, tar, asphalt, and stuff like that. So don't eat runoff from your roof.
Oh, yeah.
What it is,
I saw one person said, "Oh, it's fine. I eat them off my car's muffler," and I I audibly gagged. I don't know if they were trying to punk me or what, but they're like, "Oh yeah, just go off, snip it off. It's a nice little morning treat when you're in rush hour." It's like, how can you not know? It's called tetanus. It's a thing. Oh gosh, yeah, that. I love it.
Terrible.
Oh yeah, you do not want to eat icicles. They look so nice, and then you take them and you look closer, and you just do it next time you can see an icicle. It just is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
icicles almost killed me once, so
really?
I hate them. Yeah, it was in Canada,
of course.
Oh yeah, it was like in our house in the country. We were like in the mountain. It was called Ryder Lake, like in Chilliwack in the mountain, and then we lived up there. And in the winter, it became like really, really icy, like all over the roof. And I was like walking by once, and one of them like crashed like right next to me, and it was a massive one. And I was like, oh my God, it was pretty freaky.
Oh yeah, it'll cause massive like blunt force trauma. But fun fact, as I found out with my coworker, you can't stab them to death. It'll just shatter.
I'm sure some movies have used that as the secret murder weapon that is untraceable.
I think it was in Grey's Anatomy.
Really?
I
mean, elementary school me came up with the idea. I thought it was brilliant. I can't imagine an actual adult writer would actually pitch it for real.
That's why you have meteorological consultants. Can I murder someone with this?
Wow.
Ice bullets.
Even better.
Oh, the JFK stuff? Oh, calling a meteorologist.
So where's the show going? Where do I think the show's going?
Oh yeah, that was the question, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the question. I think we're going to get into some problems with the people that Eric's and his people know. Mm-hmm. They're going to show up. There's going to be some huge issues there. I think once that the Android comes back online, there's something going on there. I don't even know exactly what, but she's going to straighten things out. And she's going to continue to be not the entity to mess with at all. And I think too, Portia, because we saw when Five confronted her in the Matrix there and showed her vulnerability in there that affected her. I think that's going to open her up as being much more not as a hard butt,
That's a great way to put it.
She's going to be a little more relatable, or not just a hardcore,
straight up badass.
I want to comment on that. I think all of the characters, what they're all doing is surviving. What they're all doing is relating to each other. The environment and the places that they're at just happen to be the environment and the places that they're at, but they're all intertwined and trying to trust each other and relate to each other and survive and make sure that that they live. They get thrown into a prison, so you have all the dynamics of a prison. And if you've ever seen some of those shows on cable TV where they're really in prisons, you don't want to be there, I tell you.
Yeah.
Geez. But I think that the character interactions are very human, very emotional for some of these characters, which are, we're all humans. We all have a whole bunch of people we deal with every day.
Mhm.
Some we have to, we wish we didn't. Some we wish we could deal with more. And we all have to just deal with what their moodiness. And I have a thing about moody. The moody people, you're under an obligation, moody people, to not affect other people's lives with your bad moods. Okay, I just want to say,
Good point.
whoever you may be, just keep your bad mood to yourself. Because
That's me. That's me every
morning.
morning before coffee.
No.
There's that.
I do want to point out, and thank you, John Burns, for thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Pretty bad.
I think it was regards to
It was the muffler
comments about the
thing.
icicles.
Oh, it was the muffler. Someone said that they ate icicles off the bottom of a slide on the playground.
Oh, God.
This is so. How's the human race survived? Is my question.
Butt flavored icicles.
Yeah, but like, so you were mentioning how it's like they're just trying to survive and like they're getting along together and everything. I'm starting to view this show almost like a college experience. The first season, you don't know who, like, you're an adult for the first time, really, and you don't know who you are, you don't know who these people are, and you get thrown into, say, a dorm in a suite, and you have 6 other people in there, and you learn what you like, what you don't like. There's little squabbles and everything. But then you come back for your sophomore year and you're like, oh yeah, pick up right where we left off. How's everything going? And then you start to unveil like the inner layers. It's not just okay, who are you as a person? It's okay, what made you this person? And so I'm really, from what I'm seeing, I'm hoping that we're going to learn more about like their backstories and what made them into who they are and how, if at all, that will impact their development as they continue as the beings that they are now. Because I know looking back on my life, I would not be this, whatever the heck this is, without my past experiences. So
chances are good you may get your wish.
Good.
Starting very soon.
Oh, brilliant. I so desperately want to see that.
I want to just address the Jeff Beeler's question, and of course, what my background is Yitzi's mural that he did for Joe and for our whole dark matter community. And I'm going to be using it more because we want anybody who needs caricature work done. Yitzi is fantastic. So
amazing.
The college analogy is great, except you're basically going into a dorm with homicidal maniacs. That's your dorm.
I did in real life.
Wow.
Yes. You don't know how to live until you've called the police on your roommate at 3 a.m.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
I've had fun in college. Let's put it that way.
Oh my goodness, Katie. No wonder she likes to,
That's why I keep an axe in my trunk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So Joe, is there any final thoughts for this episode and next week?
No, actually, next week is actually one of my favorite episodes.
I can't wait till next week's episode.
Yes. So that's all I will say, and I will say that Katie, your wish will be fulfilled with regard to one character next week.
Oh, I'm happy now.
Oh, her nurse guy.
Yeah. You touch a hair on his head, his perfectly combed hair.
Okay, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Nina, Katie, James, Adega, and Joseph.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Everybody
people.
in the chat.
TJ.
Peggy, the Time Prophet, Dee Dee Myers, everybody who's been in here, Jeff Beeler. Thank you for the super chats, Jeff and John, and everybody else, Fluger. I do want to remind everybody to please sub to Nina and Katie and Adega. And do you have a YouTube channel, James? No.
I don't.
You don't. Not yet.
You're a good
I'm trying
start
to
one.
convince James. I'm trying to convince James.
I don't know what I would do. Show people how to fix things.
You could just honestly turn on a camera and eat a bowl of soup.
Show off
People
your
are into
hands.
that.
Well,
It's all about the hands, man.
I did buy a lathe the other day at a garage sale for $10, and I'm trying to get it to run again. I did figure out that the motor works, and that there's power to the switch. So there's an electrical problem in between the motor and the switch. So I have to.
You would be surprised. Those videos get a lot of views.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm watching them.
Yeah.
You have a
Because
whole
people
channel
wanna-
there.
Because
Being
people
the
want
next
to fix
Bob
things. I used to do it all the time, especially women. We like YouTube how to fix stuff, especially like single women who are on their own. And well, I'm not, but you know,
Oh, yeah.
my guys.
See, I revert to YouTube when I either set something on fire or hurt myself. So you can still get my views.
Yeah.
And on a final note, we will be getting a video soon from Nina on how to change a tire.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that.
Good night,
I'm supposed to
everybody.
learn.
And
Good
thank you
night.
so much. Good night.
Bye everyone.
You guys.